Good to go. How's it going, everyone? Mufar here. Welcome to Heliopolis Radio. We've been fortunate enough today to be joined by Kelly Keefe. She is the founder of Heartspace, and she's a Reiki practitioner with over 11 years of experience. She's going to be telling us about herself and what she does. And so let me hand over to you, Kelly. Tell us about yourself and what's kind of brought you to the stage in your life to be doing what you're doing.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. What do I like doing? Man, I'm such a multifaceted human. I love doing all the things of being a human. It really is. I'm very creative, so I'm always in various creative projects, something I love to do. How did I get here? I really say I didn't choose the path chose me. I really, for the last 13 14 years, I guess, I just started listening. I didn't realize why things were happening or what I was doing. If we want to go real far back, I started having visitations from Jesus and some people when I was 5 years old. So I guess I knew at a deeper level when I started hearing these calls, oh, it's time. This is not a drill. Listen, I just started listening. And a lot of interesting experiences just started happening. And although there's times that I didn't get it, I knew it was safe and it's what I'm supposed to do. And it just kind of keeps leading me into different places and meeting different faces. And here we are.
And actually kind of basically answered my second question is everyone has, when they typically go out of, societal norms, they have a shift in their mindset and their thinking, or they have realizations about the way they're doing things in their life, something just has to change. Did you have any of those? Was there a situation in particular, or was it just, as you said, over stages of your life, over time, things just get revealed and then you're inclined to shift your direction in a different way?
Yeah. There was a light switch moment at the end of my freshman year of college. I don't remember what it was that was the catalyst for it, but it was just someone just came in and just switched the switchboard where I was I'm changing my major to business management, and I was 250 pounds at the time. And I was I'm going to start, sorry, I'm American, ignorant Americans talking in pounds. Okay, it's time to, just work out every single day. And I changed my diet and I just completely shifted my lifestyle. I think a part of it was being out of the house and the environment that I had grown up in, that it allowed that awareness of, oh, I can live differently, and started to really understand the empowerment of I'm now in a season of life and I'm building my own life. So that started that cadence. And then I was fortunate to be brought into a startup company where I was a co-founder right out of school. Wow. So I also then had this shift of I can build things, I can create things. And so I was built to be a rebel by nature.
Oh, nice. And obviously your journey as a Reiki practitioner, you mentioned, I was going to ask what kind of brought you to pursue this journey? And what does it actually basically entail for someone who may hear it? And, obviously there's a lot of stuff that's thrown out there on the internet, but it's always better to ask someone who's actually gone through the experience what it actually entails and what it actually means. You have a better way to actually give an explanation to someone who's probably a bit on the curious side of things.
Yeah, with a couple hundred students under my belt, I got the basics down. Again, it chose me. I was in a meditation 11 years ago, and I heard clear as day, look up healing modalities. You are a healer. And it scared me. Honestly, I was what is this? But I listened and I came across it and I clicked on a link, and this wave of energy moved through my body. And then I was really freaked out. So I closed my laptop and pretended nothing happened. And 2 days later, I was working at a bookstore. I was working from my computer at a bookstore. And for sake of time, I'll, shorten the story, but my first teacher came to me I found him on Facebook and I was like, I'm supposed to be friends with this person. Requested, message said, this is weird and bold, but I'm a weird and bold person. I think we're supposed to be friends. And we started bantering back and forth. He walked in the bookstore that I'm typing him from within 20 minutes of talking. And we're sitting, and he was a Reiki master. And so it was really like, I believe all of us, when we continue to allow ourselves to get out of the way, what is the calling that God has placed on our hearts? Like, we can be called up, and who needs to be there to help us get there will arrive,
Yeah. No.
So what is Reiki? It's two Japanese words brought together. REI, Rei, which is universal life force, and then Ki, which is energy, chi, prana. So when we're working with Reiki, it's the universal life force energy that's pure, unconditional, loving light, and it's always creating with an intention of the highest, greatest good of all. So when we are working with, whether we're practicing on ourselves or within a session with somebody or sending it to a situation, I mean, you can Reiki anything. It's one of the beautiful things. We're essentially learning how to channel the universal life force energy through us and to whoever or whatever we're putting our focus to.
Wow. And obviously this is maybe more of quite a deeper question. How has Reiki transformed you as a person? How have you seen your shift and evolution from the practice?
Yeah. Oh, I love that question. I love being able to reflect. Before getting to a space of teaching, it's a many-year journey. It started with me receiving sessions first, and the healing's so profound. They always say that people who are powerful healers, their lives haven't been easy. Because one, there's that need for alchemical fuel. So you needed that material to be able to burn and heal through to bring you to a higher place. And it also supports for being able to really have compassion for different people coming through your door. So we tend to get thrown into a lot of situations so we can truly understand, wow, I can resonate with that. I've been there. So I had a lot to heal from. I still do. I'm a human, So I started to feel and experience the emotions leaving my body. I started to feel and witness my mindset just continuing to get more and more positive and light. My meditation's growing deeper, and then being attuned to level 1, practicing on myself every day. The clarity of this is who I am, and this is what I'm here to do. And it just started to become so much easier to trust myself.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh, I'm literally flowing with the energy that conspires for the highest, greatest good of all. I can trust and relax into this because we live by a set of principles as Reiki practitioners that, just for today, I will not worry. I will not anger. Doesn't mean we don't experience anger. It means we won't hold on to anger and have that poison in our body. I make my living honestly. I honor my parents, my teachers, my elders, and I show gratitude for everything. Just for today. And so it starts to create this new, oh, I'm good. I can trust however things are happening is going. That's still how I flow. Friends all the time are like, I don't know how you live the life you do. You just go and everything just comes together in such a magical way. Well, yeah, because I'm not trying to plan it. I have goals and stuff. I'm a very grounded human. I create goals and I know what we're doing. But if I'm told to get on a plane and go somewhere, I gotta go and something unfolds, So it's a deep trusting of how I live my life, and Reiki's been a huge part of that.
Yeah. And obviously you started Heartspace, and I did some research and reading into it, and obviously there's many layers to it, and it's something that's come from a deep level of personal experience. Unfortunately, I don't know if we'll be able to go fully into it, but I have to ask the 3 basic questions, which I thought I will probably be able to encompass enough of it. Is what led to you developing the program? This is all the practical side of it. I mean, and what does it entail for people to do? And then the last question I'll answer after the first two, because I think that's kind of more transparent. It's more personal it's a different level to that one.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's evolved. It started with me just doing Reiki sessions with people. And then as it's continued to elevate from a very practical space where I was just like, oh, if I'm going to do this is how I make my living, this isn't going to cut it, you know? So there was this space of we got to figure out how to make this sustainable and doing the things. And I started this in 2016. So I've grown and I've been working with so many different teachers of different kinds, and I'm here to teach. I love teaching. So it's just continued to evolve, and I don't want to bypass, like, yes, there's a lot of sitting and strategizing, and like if someone wants to pick my brain on that, book a 30-minute call, we can talk a little bit more of it, because we'll be here for hours if you can get on that train. You pat me into my visionary businesswoman, like we're done, but a lot of it has been listening. The first 8-week course that I did, living in alignment, I was in a meditation and I got up, I went for a run, and I was like, oh, we're doing this. Permission granted, zoop, came right to me, so it's that just listening. And it's fun where we've cultivated this space where we can meet people where they're at. We have the programs for people who've been in this for a minute, and they're like, I'm ready to build more of like my business or step fully into that leadership role. There's people who are like, I'm just starting this and I'm just really needing healing. And we can say, cool, step into Reiki and receive a session or, get certified. So we're really now starting to evolve into, just come live from your heart space and we can meet you where you're at.
And that actually kind of leads me to the final question on that was, what is the core essence that you'd like people who participate in your program to learn? Because it's interesting, I have a friend, we don't communicate that much, but she is similar in the sense that when she works with people, the unique element is, yes, there's a transaction that has to happen for your service, but you do it because you want someone to draw the essence from it. There's actually an element, there's something that, in actual fact, you'd rather not have someone participate if they don't get the core from what you actually give. So I was going to ask you, what do you want people to learn from participating in Heartspace? At least the one fundamental thing they can take. Maybe not everything, but one basic component.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful question, and shout out to that beautiful soul. It's been fun to see mirrored back to me from people of what my medicine is, where I feel that's almost even more important when we realize like our perception of what we think people need, and then really be in that space of listening and people telling us what medicine they got from us, the medicine that we bring is empowerment and self-trust. For me, it's that connection with God. That was my leading force for a while, where I was like, oh my gosh, like we can all be healers, and because we are all healers, but that was really when I started, was what human Kelly, was like, cool, we're going to start this thing where we're just going to activate all of these healers and everyone will just be these pure, like spiritual beings. Again, me in 2016. Fast forward, where I realized people come into my field and what we're doing, and it's empowerment, it's authenticity, it's stepping into that realness, but with that comes being deeper connected with God and our spiritual essence.
Wow, and that was very well, beautifully said, I must say. Again, I guess, they say time brings wisdom and experience. And it's funny that you actually it's very few people these days are humble enough to talk about the shift in psyche. And when you step into, I guess you could say, your spiritual calling, there's always that excitement. There's always that element like, I figured it out. And then obviously you go through the journey and you go through reality, you go through life, and then everything evolves. So the fact that you shared that, thank you. And I was going to ask now is, you're very well traveled. I didn't stalk your Instagram profile, but I did see pictures. I can tell that you travel. And so are there any places in particular that have left a lasting impression in your spiritual journey? There's always that one place. I mean, it's a very beautiful planet which we live on. Unfortunately, it's going through what it's going through, but there are many beautiful places that I'm sure there has to be some place that kind of like, wow, this was a really special place.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're a great question asker.
You're good at answering the questions, so that makes my job way easier. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there's many, to be honest. Costa Rica, I don't live there full time anymore. I was living there for like a year and a half, 2 years as home base. But I still consider that like home. And it's like people be like, oh, Costa Rica, it's mi corazón. Like, it's my heart, There's something about that land and that essence there and the community that I've cultivated there. The crews that have adopted me. I know that country like the back of my hand. Like, I've been there for like 2 months, and you would think I've been going there for years. Like, just the comfortability with it. And it was the first time that I was able to witness the frequency of heaven on earth in the physical. Down to the amount of people who are working on regenerative projects and people who really want to live in harmony with the earth and community. All these things that so many of us, we know heaven on earth is a frequency. Anywhere I am, I can be locked into heaven on earth. And Costa Rica, I was just like, oh, this is new earth. This is what we're working towards. So I would say that is definitely one of the biggest ones.
Wow. And what are the key lessons about life that you've learned from meeting other people?
I like to say people are something that just happened to us. And I've been in the recent, I'll be walking, I'm like, yo, humaning is so far out. Like, I just go through these waves of being complete all of us, just like, we fill these bodies, we walk around, and then just like leave these bodies. And people just like enter our lives at the times. Like, you've caught me the season where I've actually like, this is just wild. Like, I'm in true awe and wonder of people and humans at large. I say everyone's my teacher.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah, no, I mean, just to add my 2 cents in there, I do believe that the world is it's a living teacher. Everything is a reflection of something that you must come to realize within yourself at various dimensions and levels. Whether you actually do it or not, that's kind of the interesting part of life. Is it's so short, you never actually fully get it done, and that kind of what initiates this whole deeper inquiry in a lot of people. But I'll leave it at that. And I was going to ask, how would you describe the power of human interaction from your practice, from your journey? What have you kind of learned about that?
Yeah. I was talking with a friend at dinner the other day where there was this comparison happening of the success of someone in their circle monetarily. And then we were talking about, but like, look at the currency of your network, of that as well, where I feel the value, like human connections, like true connections that we cultivate, not because we think it's like, oh, let me scoop up as many connections as I can, like it's the genuine connections. That's the juice, that's for me to be able to cultivate these things where it's like, wow, we can go deep. And again, I have something for you, you have something for me. Let's find out why we were brought together. And then that extends where, one of the favorite things I have about traveling is anywhere I go in the world, I can hit up my friends there. Or I know someone who's traveling where I'm like, oh my God, you've got to connect with so-and-so when you're there. And being able to like bridge those connections. It's like really allows the tapestry of like love to continue to expand.
And obviously, unfortunately, we have the 40-minute time on Zoom. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm good at time. I'm not trying to kind of speed through the questions. I hope it
No,
isn't
you're
looking that
good.
way.
You're good.
But again, the three main ones, other ones definitely more in terms of personal related, in terms of people working with you. But I would actually want to ask, what do you feel humanity can do more of to kind of endure these difficult times that we're in? Obviously, it's not an easy life that we live, and that's the reality. What, from your own experience, do you believe would be a useful way of just kind of managing the hardships and the uncertainty and kind of the madness of this life that we live?
Yeah, it's wild times we signed up for, isn't it? I mean, from a very practical lens, like, everyone do your best to be kind to Earth Mother. Like, just do your part. Make some offerings, sing to her, give her thanks. Like, she's hurting, she's purging. Like, let's try to support her in her healing a bit. And then I'd say us all really continuing to pray. Power of prayer is real. Pray for ourselves, pray for others, pray for the earth. And really keep working on being responsive. Let's shift from being reactive and really do the inner work so we can continue to respond to what's happening around us, respond to ourselves and our interactions.
That's again very beautifully said, and it's very heartfelt. Truly, you feel where things come from, and what you actually answered the second question: what do you believe the world could benefit more from? And I do think you answered that pretty well. And so, what are the means of contacting you? Because obviously I'm based here in South Africa. Do you work with people outside of North America and Europe? Do you have maybe online sessions that you do with people? And if so, what means and ways can people contact you?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we international, baby. But truly, I'm blessed. I work with someone amazing in Iran. I work in Australia. You know, it's the beauty of the internet. You can go to our site at heartspace.co. You can also check out our social medias, the Heartspace_global. And you can also, if you want to email the team, info@heartspace.co. And if there's something more specific and we can help find your home. We have online group programs. We have retreats around the world. We're about to launch our membership program, which is also like our online courses and like a monthly call, which is super accessible price-wise. Again, we just want to keep making ourselves as accessible as possible. And then I do one-on-one work. So there's something for everybody.
No, and I really just do want to extend my thanks to you, Kelly. I truly appreciate you giving of your time. Obviously, we are a small podcast, so hopefully, if it's meant to be, it'll grow. But I'm sure regardless of that, there's always someone who can benefit from hearing the message. And wishing you all the best with your project moving forward. And we just trust in the work and the effort and the dedication that you put in, and the rest is in divine hands. So thank you so much, Kelly. We appreciate you having me on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem.